guys, today I'm very excited to be sitting with Malcolm Berry, the president of the BC Children's Hospital Foundation. Malcolm, how are you doing today?
I'm great, Zander. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. So can you tell us about the role of the BC Children's Hospital Foundation?
The role is really simple. We are the ambassadors, the champions for BC Children's Hospital. We celebrate its mission. We invite the community to find ways that they can meaningfully invest in and engage with BC Children's.
So your foundation supports only children's hospitals in BC. With such a large geographical region, does the BCCH require more funding than other children's hospitals?
Well, you're right that we actually have the largest geographic reach of any children's hospital in North America. So we go way up into the Yukon, we go to the south of the border and east and west to across the province. So do we need more money? Well, you know, we have specialized care that we provide that's very unique to this hospital. We do a lot of research, which is very unique to the institution. And we have a geographic reach that requires resources. So hard to say whether we need more or less, but we require resources to do all those things.
So how is funding for children's hospitals different than adult hospitals?
Well, you know, it's a good question. It may surprise you that only about 5 to 10% of the national resources go to kids' health specifically. So part of what we need to do is help the public understand the needs of children. So if we are 25% of the population, but 100% of the future, there's resources that we need to find for children. Now think of this as an example. Imagine that the hospital serves little babies that might be born prematurely, and we have to care for children that small, right up to people as big as you or even me in some cases. So from preemies to adults, and we can't just use one set of technology, one stethoscope or one size of diapers, for example. So it requires us to be able to care for children very small up through to adult-sized kids.
So government funding covers the delivery of care for kids like me. Where does the foundation funding go?
Well, we support and augment what resources are provided by the government, and I'd like to think that we are really strong partners. So together, we make sure that the doors are open, the lights are on, but more importantly, we have the right people with the right resources in the right programs to support kids wherever they need us along their journey.
How important is innovative research to the improvement of in children's care?
Innovative research, it's the lifeblood to ensure that kids have access to the right technologies, the right treatments, the right cures, the right surgeries when they need them most. And so imagine this, you come into the hospital, you have some sort of weird, wacky disease, or a condition or something that the doctors can't quite figure out. It's usually a testament to research that's happened that help the doctors have the right tools or the right ideas to make the discovery at the right time.
Can you tell us about some of the key fundraising initiatives the foundation holds?
Yeah, you bet. So right now we have 3 key initiatives that we're calling them around cancer, diabetes, and mental health. But more generally, we fundraise to support 3 things. We support research, we support care, and we support learning. But to do that, we need to find the right people to do the research and to care for our kids. We also find the right people to be the next generation of leaders. We need to have the right programs and the right infrastructure, the right buildings, the right types of capital to enable all those things to happen.
So what impact do the Canucks have on the foundation?
Well, I wish they were Stanley Cup champions and could inspire us with that. But you know, the Canucks for Kids have long been financial donors, contributors to BC Children's. They've supported autism, they've supported diabetes. You know, when I think about people like Brock Boeser and the players, they visit our patients, they bring hope, they bring inspiration to our patients, to our community, and that provides a global lift. But they're also so good at promoting children's health, promoting mental health, and promoting the potential of our community. So I think that's really the secret sauce of what the Canucks do.
So how can people help contribute to the foundation?
Great question. Lots of ways people can contribute. They could give us a call. They could go to our website to find out more information about the sorts of ways they could contribute or help. So that'd be bccchf.ca. They could go to their financial advisor and understand different ways that they could consider to make donations or to support BC Children's Hospital. Probably the best way is just to come and learn more, read more, come and give us a visit. And now that COVID hopefully is starting to get into our rearview mirror, we're going to be able to bring people back onto the campus to truly introduce them in real person.
Awesome. So we've come to the end of our interview. I want to thank you so much for joining. I had a lot of fun and it was a great interview.
You're the man, Zander. Thank you for being a tremendous ambassador for the work that we all do.
Thank you very much. Hello guys, today I'm very excited to be interviewing Dr. Sanatani, Division Head of Cardiology, BC Children's Hospital. Thank you for joining me today. How are you doing?
Great. Thanks so much for having me.
So, Dr. Shu, can you please tell us about the Children's Heart Center Cardiology Clinic and what services do you provide?
So, Children's Hospital is, in fact, the only specialized children's hospital in British Columbia. And as part of that, we have a full-service heart program. So we do everything from heart operations to procedures where we stick catheters in people. We do traveling clinics. We do research. We do it all. So we're what we call a full-service cardiac program.
Can you tell us what a pediatric electrophysiologist is?
Yeah. So as you probably know, the heart has its own heartbeat. So the heart beats on its own rhythm, and the heartbeat is so clever that you can even take a heartbeat, or you can take a heart from one person, put it in another, and it will start beating again. That's a heart transplant. So that electrical system is very complex. And so a whole special discipline has grown within pediatric cardiology called pediatric electrophysiology or pediatric cardiac electrophysiology. I usually call it heart rhythm because that's a bit easier to say and people know what you're talking about. And so I'm one of about 15 pediatric cardiac electrophysiologists in Canada. And I'm the only pediatric cardiac electrophysiologist that works at BC Children's Hospital.
Can you talk to us about genetic innovation and how it relates to diagnosing or managing a heart disease in children?
Sure. So genetics is really a big term to describe our study and our understanding of the DNA, the material that gives us instructions on how to build a body and build a cell and then how to run a cell. And so it's actually a really complicated field. And in my opinion, we've made amazing progress in it, but we're still pretty simple in terms of our understanding. So we're very good at finding genetic abnormalities and at looking at people's DNA. Where we're still learning a lot is, well, how does that spelling mistake in the genetic material, how does that produce a heart abnormality or a heart rhythm abnormality? Or why is your hair curly and your dad's is not? Right. Those kinds of things. So the next step of our understanding is really what we're working very hard on. It's really changed how we practice medicine though, because now we can look at different patterns and we can say, oh, I wonder if this genetic issue is the cause. And that eventually is going to lead to treatments that are aimed much more specifically at the cause. And that's starting. That's starting to happen. Particularly in the field that I work in, electrophysiology, people are looking at gene-specific treatments. So I have this genetic condition, well then we should use treatment A instead of treatment B. So I think the next 5 years are really going to see that grow.
As a teaching hospital, you get to work with young students and pass on your expertise. How much do you enjoy that, and how much has cardiac care evolved since you were a student?
So I mean, let me speak to the first part first. So as a teaching hospital, we have people of all, all types and studying here. It's the only pediatric center in the province. And so we have medical students, we have residents, which are doctors specializing in pediatrics, and then we have fellows who are learning to be pediatric cardiologists. We have nursing students, so on and on it goes. So one of my greatest responsibilities and privileges, though, is to teach. And I love it. I think it's absolutely one of the most wonderful things we get to do. It actually keeps the field growing, and it keeps it interesting because students ask the hardest questions because they're coming in with a fresh perspective,
right,
and they often look at things in a very new way. So I love it, and it's one of the things that keeps the job really active. The field has changed a lot in my 25 years around it. There's been all sorts of innovative approaches. The truth is that a lot of them take a while to get to the pediatric size, in the pediatric world, because they're tested on, adults, and it really takes a while for things to come to pediatrics.
right.
That said, though, the things that we're doing with, especially in the research field around, stem cells or new medications, new genetic diagnoses are incredible.
In your mind, what has been the greatest achievement in managing heart conditions in the last 20 years?
So this is a tough question because there are so many things, and several of them are interrelated. I think the role of technology in improving our care is, cannot be overstated. The fact that you can go to a computer and look up what you can, or even your phone.
Right.
That's changed how rapidly you can figure things out. That same computer allows us to connect with people all over the world. So I can have a difficult case, and I can talk to someone who has written the paper about 12 cases, across the world. So the fact that we're much more connected is also helping us immensely. And then, of course, there's other things that very smart people are doing, like the things that won the Nobel Prizes in recent years. So stem cells or genetic correction through CRISPR and other technologies. So I think if I had to choose one thing, it's really the fact that technology is bringing advancements together more quickly. And I think this COVID, the COVID vaccination and the science behind that and how quickly it moved is an example of how well the world can come together in the current era.
So what do you think the next significant achievement will be in cardiac?
Well, if I knew that, then I'd probably have a lot of money. But I think cellular therapies. So I think like what we do right now is it's relatively crude. So there's a hole in the heart. We close it with a patch. Not unlike what you do if you were repairing a hole in the wall.
Right.
What I'd like to see is I would like to see if a child is born with an electrical problem that we can somehow correct it using either genetic material or cellular material and not have to rely on something like a pacemaker, so that we could potentially reprogram cells or put in cells that then take over. It's pretty complicated to do because the body doesn't take kindly to intrusion like that, but I feel like that's where we're heading.
What inspires you to come into the hospital for work each day?
Well, my mortgage. No, I'm kidding. I absolutely love being here. this is my home away from home. I've been around this hospital for decades, and the people that work here, the families, families like yourselves, where you have so much passion about this field, and I'm surrounded by that every day. It's incredible. It really is.
If there's one piece of advice you could give a young kid who aspires of a career in healthcare, what would that be?
Well, first of all, I think that's exciting. I think what I would emphasize is that healthcare means so many different things now, and so I would really encourage them to find out what they like to do, find out what they're interested in, because, for example, you might be an engineering-minded person, like you might love the concept of engineering and building things, and you could be in healthcare because you might print heart valves.
Right.
So, talk to lots of people, explore lots, because healthcare includes almost every type of interest. It includes, writing books. It includes sticking needles in things. It includes cutting and sewing. It includes, doing incredible research. It includes art. So it's got everything. And so don't be discouraged if you don't love chemistry. You can still work in healthcare, and there's way more jobs than doctor, nurse. There's everything.
Right. Awesome. Thank you so much. We've come to the end of our interview. Like I said, I want to thank you so much for joining my podcast, and I had a lot of fun. It was great.
Well, thanks for coming. And I'm going to cheer for the Canucks out of your 7-city tour. I hope you don't mind.
Awesome.
All right.
Hi guys, so today I'm very excited to have Brock Boeser on the Vancouver Canucks on my podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing very well. People often talk about the importance of playing multiple sports as a kid. Did you play any other sports in Burnsville, Minnesota? And when did you realize that you had a real shot at making the NHL?
Yeah, I think it's really important playing other sports. I played baseball growing up. I played golf for fun. I actually played basketball in like 4th grade one time while I played hockey. So I think it's really important to get out there and get active and get your mind off, your main sport that you really focus on. I think it helps build your athleticism and is really important. And I think with hockey, when I thought I could definitely make it was kind of the year I got drafted. I didn't really expect I was going to be going in the first round, and then when I got drafted in the first round, I kind of thought I have a pretty good chance.
So there were 4 U.S. players drafted in the top 5 in last year's draft. 6 USHL players were drafted in the first round. What can you say about the future of hockey in the U.S.?
Oh, I think it's really strong. With what you just stated there, I think there's more and more kids from America getting drafted high, and I think it just shows the development that it's taken a big step in, and there's so many young players that are such great hockey players. So it's really important for the United States, and I think we're going in the right direction.
So you got drafted by the Canucks in the first round of the 2015 NHL draft. How important was it for you to do those 2 years at North Dakota State, and how did those 2 years prepare you for the NHL?
My time at North Dakota was amazing, and it starts off with the facilities there. It's pretty crazy how nice they are, and they kind of give you everything for you to develop into a better hockey player, and it's whether you take advantage of that or not. And just my teammates and my coaches there, they were all fantastic. The fans were amazing. So kind of my whole experience there was great and really helped me become a better hockey player.
In 2016, you led the Fighting Hawks to an NCAA championship with a goal and 3 assists in the final. What did that title mean to you, and how does that rank in your career highlights?
That meant a lot to me. Whenever you win with the team, I think you stay close with those guys, and to this day I keep in touch with all those guys, and whenever we have a chance to see each other, we do. So that's definitely one of my highlights, and it's probably top 2 for me for a career-wise standpoint.
In 2016 at the World Juniors in Finland, you lost to Russia in the semifinals. That tournament was stacked with talent. What was it like playing on that U.S. team, and what is your opinion on the NHLers in the Olympics?
Yeah, I think that just looking back at the World Juniors is my first year, and it was such a great opportunity. And I remember our team. Our team was a pretty strong team, and I remember us beating Canada. So we thought we had a pretty good chance when we beat Canada. But yeah, I don't really remember all the guys on Russia and the other teams, but. Anytime you get to participate in a World Juniors, it's a big accomplishment. And with the Olympics going forward, I think it's something NHL players feel strongly about. And whenever you get a chance to represent your country, it's a big honor and something guys look forward to.
Awesome. So you do a lot of work with BC Children's Hospital. How important is that to you, and what advice can you give a kid with big dreams who may be battling with some adversity?
Yeah, it means a lot to me. I think anytime you can make a difference in someone's life, I think it's really important. And whether I get to go on Zooms or whether I do get to go in person and say hi to kids at the hospital, it means a lot to me, and I hope it means a lot to them. And whatever people may be going through, I've dealt with a lot of adversity. I feel like I kind of look at things, just take everything a day at a time and try and stay positive.
So now I have some rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. What jersey at any level were you most proud of putting on for the very first time?
I think my high school jersey when I made it my sophomore year.
What is your favorite television series?
I'd say Grey's Anatomy.
What is your number one downtime activity?
Fortnite.
So you get back hungry after a game. What is the food that's going to hit the spot?
If I'm not watching what I eat, parlor pizza.
If it were up to you, what would be playing in the locker room before you hit the ice?
Well, I do play the music in the locker room, so I try and give a variety of things. Some EDM, some old school hip hop, whatever it may be.
So the bus is ready to leave the rink, but you guys are missing one player. Who would that
Quinn
be?
Hughes.
That was quick.
Yeah.
Hollywood is seeking a Canuck for a romantic comedy. Who would step up from the team to take that role?
Oh boy, probably Petey.
Petey?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
And how many Canucks do you think would choose you?
probably more than half.
What is your most memorable goal in your hockey career?
Memorable goal. Probably either being the All-Star MVP or the national championship when I was at North Dakota.
What is one rule that you would like to see eliminated from the NHL rulebook?
Oh boy. Honestly, I don't really have one. Never thought about that.
Puck over the glass?
I like that because I love power plays.
Finally, what two former NHLers in any era would you like to play a 3-on-3 with?
Marion Gaborik and probably just have to say Wayne Gretzky.
Wayne Gretzky?
Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. So we've come to the end of our interview. I want to thank you so much for joining.
Yes, thanks for having
And
me.
this is going to help me a lot with children's health.
Awesome. I'm happy that you do that, and thanks for having me.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Nice.
Thank you.
Good work,
Nice,
Zander.
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.